do to get on it.
Okay, well, here's what I'm referring to. If the doctors and nurses or anybody else, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the commission is concerned, normally what's supposed to happen, the way the chain is supposed to work is that those doctors, nurses, and all other employees, as far as that goes, work for that director of that hospital. You tell that director of that hospital, look, we cannot survive without X, X, and that. And that's all there is to it. And then that director is supposed to come up and plead his case before the commission.
That director does, but somehow it doesn't get through.
Now, if that director, and this is just an example, if that director felt like that he's not qualified, okay, or that he wants somebody to back him up, and I would go along with this. I would even invite what I'm about to say. But I would like to see the doctors come up to the Board of Veterans.
Well, it sounds to me like there are a lot of decisions being made that affect directly medical care, and it's being made by people that are not medical people that have no idea what they're deciding.
Okay. We don't cut the money. Now, I think your question was, after the money's cut and come back to us, who decides? And I will say this, that we've got a director, and I know that I've heard some pros and cons, but I want to say my piece about it. We've got a director that is retired from the United States Air Force, that is a hospital administrator, and has been a hospital administrator in the United States Air Force. And as far as I know, as far as I'm convinced, until somebody shows me proof otherwise, if there is a person that's qualified, Richard Huckerdorf would be qualified to do that. And so far, like I say, he hasn't proven to me that he can't do that. But still, you bring up a valid question or comment. And the thing that I would invite the doctors of these centers, all the centers, the doctors of those centers, I would like to hear some of the debate or the comments from the doctor at the War Veterans Commission.
When you want to hear it.
We have a meeting, the second Friday of every month, 99.9% of the time. That stands true. And the next one is, I'll get a little input over here. The next one is February the 12th. And I will promise you, and I don't think I have a problem with any of the other commissioners, if you come up there, let us know that you're there. We'll certainly let you be able to speak, give your views, and maybe let the War Commission know some things that there are possibilities we don't know. Again, I told you earlier, this is an open meeting. It's open to the public. And by golly, if the doctors in these centers can't get up to speak to the commission, we've got a real problem. You're invited and more than welcome to be there. Well, no, and I'll tell you why. You'll notice, well, some of you may not have.
What was the question, Jim?
The question was, you have to be on the agenda.
Okay.
Speaking of War Veterans Commission meeting. I'm going to call it the new kids on the block. Several months ago, what we did is on the agenda to cover us with state law. You know, the state law says that you got to have the agenda posted, buckle up prior and all that. And we're reminded of that law. But anyway, what we've done is we put open discussion and comment at the very start of the meeting. Therefore, if there's anybody in that meeting, in this commission meeting, that does have comment or wants to inform the commission of something, then they are called upon at that time to give their comment, whatever they might be. Now, we may not act on a request or act on a comment right there that minute. As a matter of fact, we've had times people have made Well, what you need to do is you need to be sure to let the director know, you know, if you want to come up there. Yeah, the center, yes, the center administrator, you know, the people take a very dim, look, and I think everybody understands. You're supposed to be working at the center, on any given day, you know, if this is your day of work, if you're at the commission meeting, first thing somebody's gonna scratch their head and say, wait a minute, we're paying that person to be at the center work, but I'm gonna. And I thought you did, but I just wanted to be sure to clarify something. But I wanna let y'all folks know this, that no one, as long as I'm on that commission, I don't think, as long as I have the authority or at least an argument, no one is going to deny anybody a chance to speak. But what I would ask you to do is let the administrator and director know that you want to call or address the war veterans meeting. And then at that time, we can either put you on the agenda or we can expect you to be there. And the reason I say that is we could get caught in a trap where there's a whole lot of folks want to say something to us at any one given day. And, you know, there's only, you know, so many hours in a day. And we still have to take care of our regular business.
Jim, let's go ahead. Yeah, we got some more questions there, but let me, I'll just a minute. Let me close my part on the program tonight. I'd like Mike Woolley to stand up, and Mike, we're talking about your commission out there. I said you don't want to come up, but of course everybody knows Mike here in our community, but I thought I'd just recognize him. And let me say, I appreciate Harold, Jim, James, already for being here. And I'm going to turn this over to Danny now, and whatever his decision is, and let him close our meeting when he gets ready. Danny?
Oh, there's a couple more questions, but these gentlemen have driven a long way. Some of them are going to be driving a lot further this evening. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, these individuals, like myself, were asked to be here. I represent you, so I wanted to be here, and I felt it my duty to be here. They drove, one from Altus, one from Eufaula, other places. There's 3 of the 9 of the commission came down here to a town hall meeting to, sometimes, you know, they can be under the gun, but I assured them how friendly you were in this area. So let's give them a big round of applause. Coming, if you've got questions, talk to them afterwards. I know some of them have to go, but, yeah, Gene?
I think I would like to make a statement now.
Will you come up here and make it? We're almost finished. We're almost finished. Okay.
Okay. I promised a lot of people I would sit in the back and keep my mouth shut. But I never have been able to, and I'm not going to now. These men are all good men. Don't misunderstand me. And it's true what they say. They go once a month, and they're told, or recommended to them, and they're supposed to make decisions. And they certainly, I wouldn't take anything away from them. They try. This organization, I was 22 years old when I went to work for it. And when I retired, I was 57. And I think I know a little bit about the Department of Veterans Affairs in Oklahoma. And I helped make the budget some 20 years. But never before have I seen the situation that it is in now. Not any fault of these men, don't misunderstand me. But you're close to chaos. Be that as it may, the bond issue which you were interested in, and the 60 to 80 beds in the memorandum of January the 13th, this is great. You got a commitment, as someone said the other day in the meeting. Well, at least we got a commitment. But when you think about the letter big thing, if you look at the second paragraph, that then we could go on with state committed funds. There's no state committed funds here. I've been here, you know that. There's bond money. And again, this is not cutting concrete of who gets what. Norman was originally put on the board for 200 beds. It has escalated to 300 beds at $29 million. Let me give you an example of a nursing center or a nursing home, as they have to be classified before long. No nursing home, and look around in Oklahoma, look around in someplace else. No nursing home or center is financially feasible if it's more than 200 beds. Now, everybody said, well, you built 250 in Claremore. Yes, we built 250 in Claremore, but we had the assurance that the Will Rogers College would increase their enrollment by adding classes for health service, good LPN school, good security school, good culinary arts. Aides would be trained there. We wrote a road behind it connecting to Claremore, specifically for that, where they could come down and train. And so we built 250 beds. You know what we built them for? And it's still the state of art in the United States. $17 million. Now, 16 million bond issue will get you $40 million in matching total funds from the Veterans Administration. Because it's been there, it's always been there. It was put in so many years ago. At 65% match. You'll find normally you won't get 65%. You can get pretty much the 63%. And that's what I think you should do. So let me get back to what I said about Norman. Replace Norman. It was 200 beds. Replace it. No one has ever questioned or even said a word about building 200 beds in Norman. This is the greatest thing in the world. But when you escalate it that high, you have a big problem that faces you immediately. These men know what I'm going to say. I've said it before. You cannot competitively compete for personnel. Just can't do it. You can fill it up, but you can't stand it. And that's just, and besides that, with the state of Oklahoma in the flux it's in now, they're not going to hire more employees. They're not going to give you any money to hire anymore. Get what you have now and replace it. Take the $16 million, turn it into $40 million, build 200 up there, come down here and build 150 for the same amount of money. You can do it. It can be done. And I didn't talk it over for Brother Biggie, but he knows what I'm saying for it. And let me give you an example. It takes about 25 acres to build a center, we'll say 150 beds or 200 beds. Well, I know where that's, we know where 29 acres is right here in this area. So out here, she turned to go to on our new fine turnpike. State of Oklahoma owns that 29 acres. It's very simple to get transferred to us and build a new center. Beautiful location. But I'm just saying that's a possibility. But we're grateful to these men for saying they're going to build 60 beds here. But I don't know about the commitment of additional money. But Virginia T, you can certainly take care of that. But I'm saying, as you are now, your department's in serious trouble. Not, and I sincerely mean this, I'm not against you or anyone else. Not because of the commission, but they offer once a month. ones I've listened to over the last 2 years of what he tells the commission. Some of the things aren't right. But I say this, the Department of Veterans Affairs is very short in this matter. There are some people that are out of control, and that's all I have to say. Danny, I won't say more, but I want you to remember one thing. When it came out in the paper and the memorandum that said that people were liars, said it's going to close it, Representative Hilliard give you exactly why no statement was made that it's going to close it. The statement was, I heard the death knell of Sulphur. Now, when you get a bill like that, that's a terrible bill because you lock it up.
I apologize, I'm coming back. I have a list of questions that the employees asked me to ask, and I think some of them have been answered. I have given the commission a copy of the questions you've asked, and as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of late, but I want them to have a copy of it, and I did get some of these questions answered here as to what the future of the Sulphur Center would be in their opinion. But I apologize to you if I didn't cover all of these questions that you wanted covered. And if you would like to get a reply, I will request at this meeting, before I hand the mic to our representative, that the commission would try to answer these for you and get it back to you. Would that be a fair resume? Okay, would that be acceptable? I think we got to get rid of that. Thank you. Okay. Well, there's one.
Could I ask one question?
Sure, come on up.
Folks, this is Ron Little, in case you don't know him.
Well, thank you, Will. Commissioners, good to see you again, Representative. I feel compelled to ask this question. I really feel proud that that's a priority, and I think most of the people do. But there is one thing that I've just got to ask you, and that is, during your last or recent commission meetings, was there any discussion about lowering the mission out here at the Veterans Center? For example, I left here in about 1956, I guess it was. Spent 30 years in the military. When I left here, we had a hospital, and I'm piggybacking on someone's question. Then it went to a clinic. Then it went to a nursing home. What's next? There's a lot of people out here that's asking that question. I think you've done a good job answering them this evening. Would you please answer that one? In other words, what is next? Lowering the mission for the Veterans Center.
I have to clarify this question. It was related to me, not by any of our employees, none of our employees, it was somebody in the meeting. That a suggestion was made in the Board of Commission meeting that a possibility of maybe making Sulphur a complete domiciliary unit, which is devastating. I mean, there's no way it can survive that way, and that's a concern.
I think that's a real concern, and a lot of people here, sir, if you would, please.
I think that's the question.
As I indicated earlier, in the discussion we had 2 meetings ago, it was what would happen unless something was done to solve it. If it couldn't meet the requirement that we're presently imposed. And I also need to lead into that by telling you just a little bit more about the discussion about what kind of facilities the centers are. You know, they've been licensed as specialized hospitals. And that's the way the VA had them listed. When we were securing the funds for Norman, they said, we have money available in the Veterans Administration for nursing centers. We don't have money for hospitals. If you want money to build a new center, it's got to be a nursing home. It can't be a hospital. We just don't have money for it. There was a lot of dissatisfaction with that because all of you know that our centers are more than nursing homes. Your specialized medical care that's somewhere, it's not really a hospital in the true sense, and it's certainly not a nursing home. But as far as the Veterans Administration is concerned, in order to give the 65% match on funds, they you've got to change what you are. And that's the reason for the discussion about making them nursing centers as opposed to hospitals. Now back to your question over there that we started with about the declining status of centers. And it was discussed, yes. In fact, we were discussing and hypothetically talking about everything that could happen. And it was suggested that all of the different alternatives that were available, including, as the last resort, would be that unless something was done to Sulphur, probably all it could qualify to be eventually, as the VA closed down on us on what we're doing, would be to have purely domiciliary here. And that would be the next step below a nursing center. Nobody agreed to that, and nobody suggested that that was what we wanted to do, and certainly the commission didn't get that as a recommendation from anybody, and certainly didn't approve it. And as we've talked about all evening here, we have no intention of letting it happen if we were in the position to assure otherwise. So that's about all I can tell you. Okay?
What about the cost of admission in the hospital now? It keeps going up. It's equal to nursing homes here, if not more.
If you'd like for me to read what actually, well, according to these minutes that I was given on January 12th from Mr. Heckendorf, he said his request and approved copy of the December 11th War Commission meeting minutes is enclosed. These are supposed to be correct. I'll turn to page number 8. Mr. Heckendorf stated his suggestion would be that if the commission determined that if they wanted to renovate or fix Sulphur, that they use money assigned to do a new project and assign architect, design, and engineering for a new patient wing rather than try to renovate those areas where that space currently being used for patient care. He stated some touchy alternatives that might be considered at the Sulphur Center were: number 1, convert the center entirely to a domiciliary care facility. Then there would be no need to go to the expense of construction, as it would satisfy the domiciliary code. Domiciliary patients could be moved from Clinton and Ardmore to Sulphur. The problem would be that domiciliary census is not very good, with 100 beds currently available and only around 30 filled, which would require initiating some other programs such as a drug and or alcohol treatment program to keep a domiciliary program viable. He did not know what kind of funding could be obtained from the VA, and if any, to help support such a program. Mr. Heckendorf stated the per diem reimbursement of the domiciliary patient is much less and costs less. Mr. Roy asked if Sulphur was made total domiciliary, what would be the cost savings and accomplishments, adding that there wouldn't be any savings in the nursing care patients since they would go to another center and costs would continue. Mr. Heckendorf stated that the cost per diem was significant and also cost per day. Cost would be about half as much. Mr. Roy stated that he felt that should be looked at because it seemed to him if there were all of one kind of occupancy, it could be more economically handled than if mixed. Mr. Heckendorf responded that it would be to some extent, and basically that's all that was said. Mr. Heckendorf stated the impact would be touchy, be big and a touchy subject politically, and that he was just looking at cost of taxpayers' money, as he was not sure it was wise to put a new facility or new wing of that kind of money into Sulphur, with Ardmore and Norman being that close. There would be more economy of operation of a bigger facility such as the Norman facility, which was planned, Claremore, or a new facility at a location like Lawton, and would probably serve the veterans better. Those were just thoughts. And I'm just reading what I was given January 12th, and those minutes that were given to me. So I think that pretty well sums up options. Probably one here.
Everybody here remember that microphone? That microphone bottom. Okay, I hear some ahs. Yeah, I told you so deal. I can understand that. That's okay. But they're saying seems to be, and I'm not gonna try to change it, nobody can change, you know, if somebody's got their mind made up, that's usually the way it is, but there seems to be, I take it anyway, as there's suspicion, there's a lot of suspicion here, and let's put it out on the table, okay? Let's call it like it is. We, the commission, hire the director. The director does those things that the commission tell him to do. Okay? He can't do anything without the commission approval at a commission meeting. Therefore, we invite the director of the War Veterans Commission, which is Mr. Huffenborg. We invite him, in fact, we depend on him to provide us with those kinds of recommendations. Okay? Now, some of the recommendations that Mr. Huffenborg made, okay, he doesn't even agree with, but he's obligated to us because we've asked him specific questions. What is his recommendation? The only thing he can do is lay it on the table. It's up to us to say we don't, you know, we can't buy off on that, or we can't live with that, or we don't think that's a good idea. We want him to give us the full picture, the pros and the cons. In fact, if he's got his, something going on that he really thinks, you know, is a good deal, let him sell it to us. Or try to attempt stuff, let's put it this way. But, I don't think that, maybe there's some misunderstanding here. Mr. Huffenborg is not going to do anything without the commission's approval. Or he better not, let me tell you that. And, or he should, just like your boss, you're not going to do anything, or I would assume that you wouldn't do anything behind your boss's back. We've got 9 people on that commission that he has to answer to, and he does that. Another thing I just want to tell you real quick on is the open meeting law. We follow the state, we have to follow the state statutes. Any one of us here that break the open meeting law can be fined in prison. Simple as that. Even though we're not paid state employees, we can still be held liable under the Open Meeting Act. Therefore, when we go into a meeting and discuss things, we, you know, just like the Representative read you the minutes of that meeting, we liable to, in fact, we discuss things and there's kind of scared me. To be honest with you, I'm sitting there saying, oh Lord, don't let this happen, you know, type thing. The commissioners discuss it back and forth amongst each other. Lots of times, we don't vote on on a lot of items. All we do is bring it up on the table, discuss it, talk about it, see what, you know, where it's going to go from there. I don't blame you for being concerned at all, but I would ask you to do this is when rumors get started like that, I don't want anybody to sit here worried about the job or anything like that without at least picking up that phone or going to call us personally. And I'm gonna leave my card, but I don't have to. You've got a hospital administrator back there. Anytime that you want to contact me at my work or at my home, all you have to do is go back there and talk to him, and he'll give you my phone number. I will just have to collect calls from any employee at any veteran center, and I'll tell you that right now. But if you're worried about something, and some rumors got started, call any one of us or call 3 or 4 of them and check us out just to make sure we come up with the same story. There's nothing wrong with that either. But don't sit here and worry about something, you know, that this is y'all's livelihood, and we realize that. And I work for a living myself. Well, I work when I get called. But anyway, I'm supposed to work for a living. And so I know how y'all folks feel. I work 8 hours a day when I'm not doing that.
Sir, I appreciate that. It's quite obvious that it's not a rumor, from what was read. And I thought I was satisfied with the answer, but I'm not sure I understand. Is that not a consideration now?
No, it's not. It's a discussion. There's a lot of difference between, I think it is anyway, in my old
But it is still a discussion.
it was part of a discussion, a big discussion. I usually, somebody asked me, and the only example I can give, this may not be a very good one, but it's kind of like, you know, we're us, you know, they're talking about cutting us more next year. What we have to do is we have to sit down and we have to think about this. We wouldn't be doing our job, if we didn't do those things. But there's a lot of other channels we're gonna go through before we just arbitrarily say, we're gonna cut this out or something like that. And I'll guarantee you, as you well know, when the development tried to close businesses down, there was much discussion, before that ever happened. It never happened. So that's, but it was just discussion. And y'all, there's gonna be, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's gonna be a lot more discussion like this. There has to be a lot more discussion. There's 9 of us that are responsible for not only the veterans, but the senators and their employees. And we don't take that job lightly. So there's gonna be a whole lot of discussion like that. And I just hate it that we have to open, and I'm proud to open on the type of law and say you have to discuss things in open, that you can't be secret about it. But the only unfortunate part about it is when you have an open meeting like that, and people are sitting there talking and listening, a lot of times there's a lot of misunderstanding comes out of it. And I will say this one more time and sit down, that's the reason why you call any War Veterans Commission member and ask them, hey, I heard something about what went on in the meeting. Now, we have sat down here, and I'm gonna make a recommendation to the War Veterans Commission meeting